Hello, everyone. I must welcome you all to our webinar series, the B School Insider, all you need to know about your dream school. And I'm your host, Kalyani, for this webinar. So in today's session, our topic is MDI Gurgaon, campus life, placements, and academics. And in this session, we'll be talking about the personal journey of the 5 panelists who have joined us today from MDI Gurgaon, tips on the interview process at MDI. We'll also talk about the academic schedule and how is PGDM, HRM at MDI Gurgaon, placement process at the campus, and more. So let's welcome our speakers. We have Chittreita Gorain. She's from second year PGDM. We have Utkarsh Vijayvergiya. He's also second year PGDM. We have Gitanshu Gandekar. He is also second year PGDM. We have Ayush Mishra, he's first year PGDM HRM, and we have Apan Kalra, he's alumnus PGDM 2017 to 19. He's a senior manager at Axis Bank. Welcome all of you, and thank you so much for being here today for this session. So let's start from your CAT score, your CAT prep very briefly, and how much did you score? How many months did you prepare for? And what was your undergraduate degrees in? So let's start from Ayush. Let's start from the first year, then we'll talk to Gitanshu, then Chittreita, then Utkarsh, and then Apan. Yeah. Apan, you will be talking more from the placements point of view. Yeah. So I'll ask you more questions from that section. Yeah, Ayush.
So I'll take the start here. So hi everyone, I'm Ayush.
Yeah.
So basically I'm not from a very common to see background as such. I have done a hotel management degree, which is not a very common thing to do before someone jumps into doing an MBA. So my journey to hotel management was because basically I did not want to go for engineering. And this was one of the secondary thoughts that I had, but absolutely loved it. Went on to work for around a year in the hospitality industry itself, got a holistic understanding in the same, and then wanted to study furthermore. So went on to sit for CAT, but did not get a lot of time to prepare for my first attempt. So the percentile was not that great. The second attempt, I invested some 5 to 6 months of good studying, good preparation into it, and I scored a decent 94 percentile. In that, then for me, the game changer into converting MDI was actually my PI, the personal interview that actually happened.
Okay.
And coming from a diverse background, so both of it actually worked in my favor and eventually ended up doing HR in MDI.
Okay, so we'll talk about the PI bit in the next question. So yeah, so let's go to Gitanshu.
Gitanshu. I am an engineer. By the time I was done with my bachelor's degree, the one thing I knew was that I did not want to do anything associated to engineering or the technical field.
Okay.
I moved into sales. I worked in sales for 2 years, and MBA was something that I always wanted to do. I have given 2 CAT attempts. My first one was some 98 point something percentile.
Okay.
And in my second one, my second attempt was a 99 percentile, the one that I actually converted MDI.
Okay.
For me, I am someone who does not have a very strong academic background. My scores have not been too good in the past. But lucky for me, MDI is one of the places that is willing to forgive you for what you may have done before you came to an MBA. I converted the PGDM program, and as of now, I'm placed in Dr. Reddy's.
Yeah. We'll talk about the PPOs and how life becomes so chill after you get a PPO. Yeah. Okay. Utkarsh, and then Chittreita. Yeah.
All right. So hi everyone. So I also come from an engineering background, computer science engineer, GEM candidate for the CAT. So basically, I gave 2 attempts. In the first attempt, I scored 77 percentile there, and in the second attempt, I scored 98.99 percentile. And I guess I was actually working there, so I completed my BTech, worked for 1.5 years at Yamaha, and during my work only I started preparing for CAT.
Okay.
But I was lucky that I got work from home due to the COVID thing which happened. So I guess which gave time for me to prepare for CAT and get into MBA.
Okay. Yeah, Chittreita.
So, hi everybody. Then again, I'm also an engineer, but I graduated way back in 2016. So, I've got immense amount of work ex, so around 46 months of work ex. And after that, I quit my job thinking that a lot of added experience would really be a negative. So, it kind of worked both ways. And then somehow, because I was so away from academics for so long, it really screwed my CAT percentile. But then again, I think I'm a living testimony to someone say the CAT percentile is not everything. Like I am still in MDI with not a very strong profile, but a good profile.
So, hi everyone. Actually, so just seeing all the people here, so proud of that. So obviously they had their own journey. I had my. It's been around 3 years now that I've moved out of MDI. Obviously, seeing new faces, being in MDI, pleasant to see everyone. Yeah. My CAT journey. So again, as with Gitanshu, as with Utkarsh, as with Chittreita, I am also an engineer and yeah, general engineer male. Passed out of engineering NIT Surat in 2015. Then was for 1 year in Mu Sigma, which is a decision scientist analytics company. And in my third attempt, I got around 99 percentile.
Okay.
Gave many interviews, converted MDI. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about a little bit more about what was the preparation like, as in, you know, so, okay. So our attendees are now divided into two parts. CAT 22 guys have already taken CAT and are now waiting for, obviously, the CAT's, the results. And then, you know, of course, you know, they'll start sitting for their PIs. And for other B schools too, so not just for MDI per se. So we will talk about that, but right now we also have CAT 23 students also attending, so they would definitely like to know any tips that you guys have, like, you know, how many months to prepare for, when did you guys start, you know, just like maybe a little bit about your own journey, and then, you know, giving our tip each. Okay, again, Ayush, you can start, and then Utkarsh, then Gitanshu, and then Chittreita. Let's and then Apan. Yeah.
For the CAT preparation part, I think the other panelists would be able to give a better understanding because my score comparatively was not that great. But
I think probably that is the reason why you should be probably answering it even more so, because the thing is, like, there are a lot of people out there who probably think like, okay, my score is not good. What am I going to do now? I mean, yeah. So definitely, you know, that's the story we would definitely like. It would really help our students. Yeah.
So I am a standing example here. Before coming to MDI also, I always had this doubt that coming with a bad account, I can say I have a very bad account because it's a 6, 7 and a 9. So with that and getting not that a great CAT score, still ending up into an amazing B school. So this doubt I specifically had, I posted it on all forums. Everyone used to tell me that no, you'll make it fine, and I never believed them. So with the 94%, now I can actually tell you that it doesn't matter. There are a lot of factors involved. I personally have been involved in a lot of sports, so it helps up in building a profile and all. So coming back to preparation for CAT, so I come from a non-technical background. So maths had the quants part had always been a very challenging aspect for me. So that was the part where I invested most of my time. The overall marks that I gave, that was in general a lot, but the sectional marks were highest in for quants. So that actually helped me, and surprisingly, I got the highest percentile in quants in the end itself. So do not leave the other sections if you are strong in it, is what my tip would go.
Yeah. So we'll come back to your PI, because I think the PI must have done it for you. So yeah, there are a lot of people, you know, who are probably expecting 93 plus percentile and are probably aiming for MDI. So, you know, yeah, they would definitely like to know what to do next. Yeah, Utkarsh, then Gitanshu, then Chittreita.
All right.
Gitanshu.
So
Utkarsh,
for the batch was preparing for the CAT this year or next year, basically. So for them, I would say that don't overwhelm yourself with the syllabus, because of course, I mean, all the coaching institutes have given a very structured way of preparing and everything like that. But the problem with that is that you don't start giving mocks until the syllabus is complete. And I guess that is a very wrong strategy. So I mean, how I prepared was, so my syllabus was also not complete. I was not well versed with many topics in quants and LRDI. My verbal was strong. I scored 99.63 there, but my quants and LRDI was not strong. But I never waited to complete all the concepts, to practice all the concepts. I was very focused on giving the sectionals every now and then to improve my score section wise. So I guess that would be an advice to not think about the syllabus and just start giving mocks, because when you look at the syllabus for CAT, it's essentially what you have done in 9th and 10th. It's nothing more than that. It's just that you have to manage your time. You have to manage the questions that you have to attempt. It's a matter of choice and time rather than how skilled you are in solving those concepts. So I guess that can work.
Weak section? Which part was your weak section? Weakest?
My weakest was LRDI.
Okay.
Yeah. So my weakest was LRDI, but I guess quants and verbal saved the score for me. So,
okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gitanshu, any more tips from you, Utkarsh? I'll anyway come back to you guys again, because there'll be a lot of questions anyway, and we'll be answering those.
For the batch who is yet to give PI and interviews of other colleges, I mean, that I'll tell in the next segment.
Yeah. Okay. Gitanshu.
Well, about the thing about mock exams, I could not possibly agree more with Utkarsh. In both of my attempts, I'd given over 65, 70 mocks each year from a bunch of different places, including IMS and SimCATs.
Okay.
And it wasn't just about giving the mocks, but it was also spending an equal or maybe larger amount of time analyzing them. What you did correct, what you did wrong, how you could have done better, which question you could have chosen, or whatnot. I mean, there's so many things that you can learn from your own mistakes that you've made in your previous mock, and thus giving those mocks and analyzing them equally with equal sincerity was, I believe, what worked for me. That is one thing, because when it comes to giving CAT, it is not just about what you've studied or whether you remember a formula. It is about using your time in the best possible way, choosing the right questions, choosing which questions not to do. Some questions consume a lot of time. Spending 6-7 minutes on one quant question is a blunder that no one should ever make. So it's factors like these, and once you've given enough mocks, you've tried enough things, you have the room to experiment, you have the room to try new things, and once that is done, you have a set strategy that you can implement in CAT. One rule for me in both of my attempts and even the other competitive exams that I've given is try nothing new on the last day. Whatever you've done so far, replicate it. I believe that works for me.
Okay. Chittreita, if you can just you can keep your video switched off, but if you can just answer, as in you can use your audio. Can she hear? Is she there?
Okay.
Yeah. So if you can
I'm
just talk about your tips and your preparation CAT prep. Yeah. There's a lot of.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Really very sorry. So I think Utkarsh and Gitanshu covered it pretty much. They covered it very well. Analyzing mocks is very important, and you have to devote a lot of time to it. It's not just about taking the exam. It's about analyzing it. And on the day of the exam, your luck also plays a very important role. So I think I was a little lucky because the DILR said that I did, others couldn't do it. But then again, that and another were the only ones that I did. So don't get consumed with ego. Don't get consumed with ego, basically. Let it be. If you're not able to do it, if you're not able to get an answer even after 2 to 3 minutes, just skip it. It's okay. You have plenty of questions to go forward to. Pick the easy ones and do them first. So
Okay. Yeah, Apan. And also, if you can talk about, which part was your weak section and how did you work on it? And yeah.
So for me, I suppose my weakest was verbal, because there was a little bit of unpredictability at each and every mock which I gave, where I couldn't really say, okay, whether I did well or not. And only after the results, I would be able to get it. But that sort of ambiguity was always there in verbal for me, particularly.
Yeah.
Now, as all the other people have said, that mocks is the bench line. You can't just ignore that. It's okay if you don't have your complete syllabus done. It's okay if you're not 100% sure, but keep in mind there's a high probability that if you don't give mocks, you will not be able to crack it. But if you try to give mocks, but you're not completed the syllabus, there's a high chance that you will still be able to crack it very easily. Because mocks will each and every time will give you that emphasis that what you're strong at, what you're weak at. At the same time, it will give you that emphasis on what are the things which you can easily skip inside the scenario. So it's like a cricket match, you keep on practicing, and just after that, at the final match, you will exactly be doing the same thing most of the times, and yeah, you will sail through in that sense. So obviously mocks and then analyzing it, that was majorly my routine in the last 2-3 months for sure. And so as Gitanshu said that he has given 65-70 marks, I hadn't given that much, 30-40 around I would have given. But in that, the main point was the schedule was like, if you have the slot from 9 to 12, then make sure that you're giving it in 9 to 12 itself at the later stages for sure. And in the end, in one day itself, or before not analyzing it, don't move on to the next mock.
Right. Okay.
That's very important here. So give the mock, analyze it really well. Maybe 3 hours if you're giving for the complete mock, maybe 4, 5, or 6 hours you can give to analyzing as well. That is also completely fine. But yeah, that analyzing and then realizing what are your strengths, where you can just use that statistical angle here, that works. Apart from that, yeah, I'm seeing many questions regarding people. So what percentile? Just want to add on that. There were, so obviously above 98, 98.5, it might be a cakewalk for a lot of people. But I have myself seen, and as Ayush has also said, that 94 percentile also gets happened. So yeah, that is also possible. It's just that you require different sets there, which can cover up for your
correct. Yeah. From which month usually you guys start giving giving mocks? Yeah, Apan, Gitanshu, both can answer.
I think at least 2 months back, 2 to 3 months back, it's better. Obviously, very. So my journey was first. I would have started around 6-7 months back.
Okay.
I took 2.5 to 3 months to just wrap up the syllabus and then started giving mocks.
Okay.
And yes, just after completing the syllabus, I thought that I was on cloud nine. I've done everything, and then the very first mock I gave, I was just at the bottom. At that point of time, I realized that that doesn't work. So yeah, I thought that maybe giving mocks earlier would have been better, and slowly and steadily it just.
Okay.
So I guess as Apan said, that so basically I also prepared for 6-7 months for CAT, but I started giving mocks from the very first one, just to get the hang of the exam. Because when you complete the syllabus and you wait for those 2 months to give CAT, and when you give your first mock, you're very disappointed that even after completing the syllabus, you are not able to crack it because you don't have the hang of the exam. So I believe frequency should matter, as in start giving mocks now also, like give one mock in 15 days, for example, if you're starting just now for CAT, and increase the frequency as you come closer to CAT.
Okay. Yeah. Ayush, what was when did you start giving mocks?
Similar to Utkarsh, the day I started preparing, I gave my first mock. But the main thing was in the month of November, like a month before the actual exam, I started giving mocks every alternate day, which actually helped me identify the weaker part, subtopic of every topic which I have. Every single question I got time to point out, and it actually eventually.
Okay. So let's move on to the next question. You can start your personal interview. Or how was the personal interview? Your personal experience? What were the kind of questions? If you remember, Apan, yeah. Or otherwise, it's fine. Ayush and Utkarsh and Gitanshu and hopefully Chittreita would be able to answer. So yeah, the kind of questions that were asked, and what kind of profile, kind of, what was it that really you think that worked for you guys? That, and also a tip. Yeah, Ayush.
I'll start again. So for me, the overall interview was basically around my work experience itself. So the panelists, they were also intrigued about a student coming in from an hospitality background, and they told me that if I give them some insights about they of course keep on traveling. Every corporate person keeps on traveling to all the 5 stars of the world in and around. So they wanted some insights and what happens actually in the background. So it was more of a conversation on how the hospitality industry actually works. They asked me about the business model of Koyo, how it is different from Booking.com. It was basically around the domain and why I actually wanted to shift from hospitality industry to going for an MBA. So that I particularly think was a game changer because you need to have the clarity on to what and how do you support your life decision. So this basically is a major decision in your life, and how do you actually support and plan and look at it on a long-term basis was what they wanted to know. Apart from that, there were a few GK questions. So I come from the state of Odisha. So they started asking me about the government of Odisha. Why has it not been changing? Then the geographics of Odisha, the rivers. So I was not basically very highly prepared about it. So I connected the state back to hospitality itself. So the conversation came around and it came back to hospitality. So that is something very essential to drive the interview from your end. And one tip that I would like to share is for me, something that worked was following all the Telegram and the Pazurka channels. I used to read every single experience that people used to share to. I jot down all the questions that they had, and in my mind, I tried to frame an answer for every single question. So nothing came in as a surprise.
Okay. Yeah, Utkarsh.
So my interview to MDI was a pressure interview. And I guess since I've joined MDI, I've been giving pressure interviews only considering my SIPs and everything. So I remember, so in my MDI interview, there was a faculty from law background, and there was one another person who was from computer science background. So first he started asking me all the academic questions because I'm a computer science engineer. And then this law faculty started asking me about Indian constitution. Basically, they started throwing me off guard with questions I had no idea about. So they were basically maybe testing. I don't think so they were testing my knowledge, but the way I'm handling questions or the way I'm trying to answer them. So I was asked about Indian constitution, about fundamental rights, about whatnot. Like I had a basic idea about them, but like I didn't have a full idea about it. So I guess so basically I met that faculty after getting into MDI and I asked her that, like, I don't think so. I gave a very well personal interview. So why did you took me in MDI? So she remembered my interview apparently. So she told me that we were not testing you on your knowledge, but on your communication skills, on your way to handle such questions, because in corporate also you will deal with such situations. So I guess what worked for me in the personal interview was probably my promptness of answering vague questions. And I guess that was it.
Okay. Yeah, Gitanshu.
Yeah, my interview for MDI was a little different as opposed to how these B school interviews usually happen. It was actually about music. So during my bachelor's, even during my bachelor's, I've had a background in music. I've had multiple rock bands over the years, and we've tried to do some stuff over there. And along with that, my interview started with my interest in music, but I started telling my professors about a dream that I have in life. It's an idea that me and a drummer friend of mine came up with about how blockchain can be implemented in music and certain possibilities over there. And one of our economics professors, his name is Sunil Ashra. He was taking my interview and he seemed to take a lot of interest in the topic. He was asking me a lot of questions. There was a lot of to and fro happening over there. So my entire interview was music centric to a point where at the end of the interview the professor actually asked me to sing for him.
Did you sing?
I did. Pretty generic Beatles song, but yeah, I did. I sang for him.
Nice.
And that's how I got into MDI.
Okay, so they asked me about a decision that I had to take on a situation. So over there, I don't think they were totally happy with what I said, but I was smiling and I was confident, and I think that is what helped me. And that was kind of the USP that they took. I had to be a little diplomatic, but keep smiling and be confident. So that's
okay. Yeah, Apan.
So yeah, Kalyani, so basically I very vaguely remember right now. It's been a very long time.
Yeah.
Mostly I think my interview was also around 7-8 minutes. Revolved around about yourself, then about a work experience, and yeah, just some questions regarding that only, and it sailed through. What I now remember, and obviously it's a background work which I did obviously before, not exactly this, but for different interviews. There were two key points which I always used to think regarding the tips which I would take. One is, as Chitrita said, that you need to keep on smiling, or at least just give that vibe that yes, you are interested and very much enthusiastic about it. It can be as natural, and obviously the smiling face is obviously everybody likes that. Apart from that, the very first question majorly comes is about yourself. The more confident, the more prepared you are with that, you can take it ahead regarding that. Just one more point regarding the smile was this also, which I see right now as well, that if you are competing against, if there are two people who are competing, both of them are equally competent for the faculty or for anybody who has to take it. Most likely, the person who they like more, they will take them more. Just that vibe is like that's always going to be it interviews, be it placements, be it anywhere in admissions as well.
Okay. Let's talk about the academics. So let's start again with Ayush, because he's the one with PGDM, HRM, and there are a lot of people who ask about if somebody has to pursue an HR course, management, HRM, should they go for only XLRI? How good is MDI? How's the placement and all that? So Ayush, if you can just talk a little bit about it. Of course, you won't be able to talk about the placements bit, but yeah, overall, as in you must have thought about something when you decided that, okay, yeah, HRM would be good for me here at MDI. Yeah.
So the decision to take up HRM as a career is very personal. You have to think about your own life goals. But to be honest, from the outside, it looks very different from what it actually is. So HR has been evolving from the last 5-6 years to becoming a major strategic part of the strategic implementation of the business plan of the company in itself. So this transition, to be part of this transition, is a very critical phase, and for that, MDI being part of the trinity of HR in India, if you consider this XLRI, this and this MDI who actually have good HR curriculum and give out good placements, very good numbers. I have gotten an amazing summer internship which was enabled due to MDI in itself, and the placements are definitely at par with all the other streams that are available and are better than many other B schools that are currently having HR programs in India.
Right.
And to basically give an idea about the curriculum as well, there are specifics. So when you start studying for a specialization from the first year itself, you get a very holistic understanding on that domain itself. So we have different verticals in HR, be talent acquisition, be the strategic planning, be the learning and development, and you start studying about them from day one, which actually helps you to gain a very drastic knowledge about it. Then there are industry experts who come in and help you in the holistic understanding. With that, we also have the core subjects to have a business acumen built in us. We have accounts as well. We have market planning. So all in all, it is a very...
So when do you select your electives? Second year?
So electives happens in the second year itself.
Yeah, okay.
From fourth itself. But before that, mostly all the subjects are oriented around HR.
Okay. So let's, Gitanshu and Utkarsh, you guys can talk about PGDM as in the course, the academics, how it is, and also a little bit about, what are the clubs and committees. Are you guys, are you guys member of any clubs and committees? Any? Gitanshu, you are?
As a matter of coincidence over here, Utkarsh, I and Ayush is actually part of one common committee. We actually handle a lot of communications on MDI's official channels across. So there are two angles to... I'll start with academics actually. Academics do form a certain part of your life on these schools. You do have to attend classes, you do have to take part in those projects and whatnot, but they do not take up your entire time over here. You will have plenty time to do whatever it is you want to do on campus, apart from academics, whilst maintaining a respectable grade. I'm not talking about abandoning it. That being said, again, as I said, you have a lot of time. As far as committees are concerned, the way I see it, there are actually two types of committees. One type of committee that actually helps you in your MBA. There are committees where you get to maintain relationships with alumni, or the committee that me, Utkarsh, and Ayush are in. We're actually working on MDI's branding. We work with the office, with the admin on a lot of things. That being said, there is a second set of committees as well where you join just for the experience. Now, for many of us, this is going to be the last 2 years of formal education in our lives. You want to enjoy the experience as well. So, I mean, you name it. You name any particular field, there is a committee for it, right from academic subjects all the way up to I'm talking about charity events. I'm talking about debating, and there's even a poker club on campus. All they do is sit and gamble, but
yeah. Yeah, but tell me something. Is it compulsory for everyone to be part of some clubs or committees, and does it help in any way in the long run in the campus? Yeah.
It is not mandatory to be a part of any committee. It's completely up to you. Some people want to be a part of them, some people do not. Some people want to pursue other things. That being said, for me, it did form a certain part of my experience here on campus. So I, for one, do recommend being a part of some circle outside of your academics, outside of your friends, outside of this thing where you're working towards something. It's a fun part of campus. So it is something that I do recommend. It does add value over there. I have met some really, really good friends in my committee itself. These I've heard a few. So yeah.
Yeah. Apan, were you part of any clubs or committees?
I was just part of one drama club. Apart from that, I was not part of any club. So yeah. But yeah.
Okay. Who can tell us about the student exchange program? Is there a student exchange program at MDI? Utkarsh, you would like to answer?
Yeah. So there's I guess, a very big student exchange program at MDI. So basically MDI has a partnership with 70 plus universities abroad. So basically, so the process is basically that you have an interview with our communication faculties. They test you on your knowledge skills, on your language skills, because some people know French, so they probably get an institute in France and etc. And the institutions that MDI has tied up with are very known institutions in the world, like ESCP Europe or EdHec Paris, Copenhagen University, and things like that. So basically, the interviews take place somewhere around in January and February, and then you spend your 5th semester in the exchange abroad. So basically, October, November, and December. So these 3 months, basically, you spend in abroad, and a large bunch of people from MDI go to these exchange program, around 60-70 people every year.
Okay, let's take a few questions. Yeah, I think there was one question about, I think Gitanshu, you answered that question, but the others won't be able to know what the answer was about if MDI is mostly interested in work experience and not freshers. Yeah. So Gitanshu, can you answer it?
So as a matter of fact, there is a very, very large chunk of our batch. I'm not aware of the exact number, but I do believe it was north of 30% or so. Probably more than that. I can't recall for sure. But again, the point I'm making is there's a pretty large chunk of students over here who have come without any work experience. There are reasons to do an MBA right out of bachelor's as well. It's not. So the point, what I was saying is, yeah, I mean, freshers do come to MDI. We do have a lot of them.
Okay. Yeah. Utkarsh, Ayush, you would like to add anything to this answer?
I guess, I mean, if I talk about the admissions last year, then diversity played a very big factor in people getting admission here at MDI. I mean, there's no hard and fast rule as to who gets into MDI. But I guess if you have a call from MDI, then you have a fair chance of converting it, be at any percent. So I guess rather than speculating on the chances of whether clearing MDI's PI or not, you should focus on how to better prepare yourself for PI, because anybody can get a call based on diversity or based on your previous ACAS or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. How much does a profile matter? Apan, can you talk about it?
See, at moral levels, obviously, in so if you have a if you're just about to enter MDI, so obviously after getting a CAT score, a well-rounded profile will obviously add on to it.
Okay.
For example, you are somewhere between 95-96 percentile somewhere, and then you have a good ACATS, let's just say, or you have been done something really good, a national level champion or something. Okay, all those things will definitely add up.
Okay.
If not exactly, if obviously it will make you a well-rounded personality as well. Along with that, it will help you in PI as well. It will be a big point when it's coming up, and that and a lot of conversation will go around that. Like for Gitanshu, a lot of conversation went around music. It's
okay. Okay.
Something like that is there, so obviously it will matter.
Okay.
So yeah, profile does matter, but yeah, it's not key. It's the end of the world. If not before this, there will be ample opportunities inside MDI where you can definitely make profile. So obviously that avenues are always there.
There is a question, but I've not worked in a company, but I was working in an NGO, so I don't have any. Okay, I don't have any bank statement to prove. Probably, just to prove that that person has actually worked. What are the chances? So, will that person be taken as a fresher when he or she sits for the interview, or how to go about it? Who can answer? Gitanshu, you want to answer?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So about that, once the calls are out, okay, MDI does have a team of students that reaches out to everyone who has received a GDPI call. And any and all doubts that students have are clarified at the time. So the admission criteria changes every year. I cannot give a definitive answer for now, but rest assured, as of now, work on getting the call. In case you are receiving one, you will be receiving communication. You will be given a point of contact, someone on campus who can clarify this doubt for you. So I would recommend rerouting this in that direction.
Right. Okay. Okay. How did you guys prepare for? There's a question. How did you guys prepare for your GDPI? Who can answer? Did you guys prepare anything? Yeah. Ayush, yes, please.
So for my, there were no GD as such because I was online.
Yeah.
It was an online process. So for PI, basically, I went on for a lot of mock PIs. So I had already mentioned that I wrote in a composium of answers that were already been asked. And there are a few generic questions that you'll find online. There are multiple portals where you get a whole list of questions that are generally asked in such FDA college interviews. Make a list of those and write down your answers. Note it down. Be thorough about it. Make changes. Show it to people who are actually have experience in it. Reach out to seniors. Reach out to alums. Normally, from the outside world, they do not seem that they will reply. But trust me, they do. People do take out time for all this also for helping. Everyone is available for that. Reach out to people, take tips, and make sure you give a lot of mock interviews because they are specific.
Okay. The next section is internships and placements, and I hope Chittreita is still there because Chittreita, we would like to know your experience as well for the PPO that you got. Chittreita, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi. Yeah. Can you talk about your internship very briefly, very quickly before you go? Before you go offline again. Yeah, your internship and how did it take you to your PPO? I believe you are with Accenture Strategy, right? Your PPO?
Yeah, Accenture Strategy. Yeah. So it was more or less like I had a PPI. So they conduct a competition which is open for very limited B schools. I think it's only open to the top 10 B schools. So over there, if you get a PPI, I mean, if you are in the top 3 of your campus, so you are offered a PPI. So me and another person, we were able to convert the PPI, and that's how we landed our summer internship because Accenture Strategy has very stringent criteria for taking in, for even giving you a shortlist, let alone accepting you in. But then again, it's not impossible. Like how I converted, a lot of people did convert, and a lot of people converted on their own itself. So it was very simple, and it was very conversational. And even in the work, when I was working, when I was interning over there, I had really amazing managers who really connected well with me. And I think that helped me a lot in converting that into a PPO. So of course you have to work, but then it's also about the kind of interpersonal skills and how interested you are and how interested they see you to be. So all of that helps.
But tell me something, Chittreita, if someone is has got a did an internship and is not very happy also with that internship and would like to do so, would like to sit for the placements and all. How much does a good internship affect the placement, the final placement? Does it have a lot? As in, what if the internship was not that good or that great for that person? Then how much of the what happens then?
So it's more or less like they have seen many of my friends as well were not really happy with their internship. So they did sit for the final placement. So it's nothing,
Okay.
it's not abiding that if you go to an internship, you have to accept the PPO. You
Okay.
can have a conversation with your manager and say that you would not like to pursue it further. So
Okay.
that's, again, it's totally up to us.
Okay. Yeah. So then, Utkarsh, you can talk about your internship and also a little bit, if you can just take us through the internship process quickly, and then talk about your. I
So
believe
I
your
guess the
PPO is
internship,
with Dr. Reddy, right? Again,
Dr. Reddy's.
you are also, and
Yeah,
Gitanshu
yeah.
also. Okay.
Gitanshu and I have a lot of things in common.
Yeah, I can
We
see that.
became friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. I believe I'll be seeing the two of you in similar in the same photo frame when you guys share photos. No. No. Okay, Utkarsh.
I mean, I could go up to his room and sit from his camera right now if you want.
Okay. Yeah. So Utkarsh, yeah, you can answer first about the
Yeah,
internship
so
process very briefly, step
the
by step.
internship.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
internship process is fairly simple. I
Mm.
mean, when these students come here, they are inducted into the batch. There's a proper process. Then they are asked to make master CVs. And finally, the final CVs are made. Those are forwarded to the companies. And I guess once you're in the campus 1 or 1.5 months after it, the companies start visiting campus, and slowly, these students start getting paid. So it's not a day-wise process, rather it's spread onto a 15 to 20 days process entirely. Talking about my internship experience for Dr. Reddy, so it was in the marketing department.
Okay.
But for the primary research, I had to actually visit many stores in Hyderabad. So basically, it was in Hyderabad. So I covered around 400 retail shops in 2 months. I mean, for my primary research. And then it was basically around a product which was selling before 2 years when it was launched, and it was not selling now. So it was a very open-ended problem statement given to me. Why is it not selling? So I guess, I mean, I have learned a lot from my internship, from the point that, I mean, interns are treated very respectfully in the companies, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, I had a freedom to contact anybody of any position or stature there to ask questions, because, I mean, they are getting a blank slate to, I mean, give their opinions. So I guess in terms of that, it was very uh, rewarding in terms of learning wise. Also because I was roaming in the markets here and there every day. So it also taught me about the subject which I studied, consumer behavior, in my first year at MDI. So it also taught me a bit about that, because Hyderabad has many regions. I mean, old Hyderabad, which has only Muslim population, and the rest of Hyderabad, which has other population. Some people speak English, some people don't. So I guess their behavior also matters most, which apparently reflects on the sale of the product that we were trying to sell.
Right.
So I guess those aspects which you would not learn in your academics, but you get to explore in your internship, I guess.
Correct. Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. Gitanshu, you would like to add something to the internship? Yeah. And then Ayush, you guys in the first year, what's the so in the second year you will be going for the summer internship, right?
So at the end of the first year, once the first year is ended, there are 2 months, there are 2 designated months before your second year begins.
Yeah.
That's when the internship happens.
Okay. Yeah. So Ayush, I think, you if you want to add something from your.
No, Utkarsh pretty much covered it. I mean, we work in the same company, we work under the same culture.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Apan, if you can talk about the placement process very briefly and your placement experience.
Sure.
Yeah.
So just carrying forward from this point itself. So placement process, obviously the process is obviously, I will just go with a timeline. First, we come here after 3 months. There's a process of a full internship and all. We go through that. once we get to the internship process where it's selected, after that, just after the end of first year and between second year, there are 2 months in which the internship happens, and after that, there's a part where obviously, so you do that internship, you like it, you communicate, then the company will come up at their own times at different point where they will roll out the PPOs or PPIs. If there's a PPI, then obviously there will be an interview which will happen, and after that there will be results regarding that. If not anything, then obviously you will be sitting into the final placement process.
Okay.
Basically, I think would be
that's
the latest the last just before the last trimester it happens.
Okay.
And around that time, so that is a process, and obviously there will be a lot of companies coming in, both in terms of internships as well as in terms of final placements.
Yeah. So your experience, your experience.
My experience was, so basically in the first 3 months, obviously I went through a lot of internship interviews as well. I went into Interglobe Technologies, and obviously it's a part of Indigo Airlines. So yeah, my internship was there, 2 months there. And as one of the panelists so actually said that you actually learn a lot of things in academics, and slowly and steadily some part of it, some niche of it, you start to experience in terms of internships, where internship or as well as placement in terms of final jobs as well, where you get to learn those particular parts. So obviously a lot of research was there. Exactly, for me also there was a particular strategic project which was there, through which I went to talk with a lot of people, saw a lot of analysis there. And after that, obviously, in terms of final placement process, again, there were a lot of different companies coming in. And I would just say this part, that obviously the internship experience definitely matters, because at the end of the placement process in the interviews, there will definitely be questions. Most probably there will be questions regarding how was your internship, what did you learn from that, what was the project like.
So are you saying that, a good internship is important to get a good placement, or it doesn't matter? Even if you have a bad internship, you can get a good placement?
Nothing is end of the road. That is for sure. That is absolutely for sure. Nothing is end of the road.
Okay.
How it can work, and I can just say from a psychological point of view, if you had a good internship, you have a good brand name on your CV. That is one.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
That can maybe influence some of the recruiters, not just in MDI, it in any place. I was placed in HSBC Bank.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's take a few questions. There's one question about any online courses to improve profile. Any suggestions on the same? Also, again, more questions on profile. So yeah, I mean, I think attendees want to know how to build their profile, basically. Yeah. So maybe, each of you can give one tip on profile building, something that they can do, maybe.
Tip as such, I would like to say that I just went on and did few online courses few online internships. I don't know how much it affected, but then again, the whole point is to not look like you were totally free during that period. Because it was almost like 7 or 8 months since I left my work. So it was almost like free period for me. So that's why I went on to Internship, I went on to Unstop, I went on to LinkedIn. And if I was able to bag any internships, I just did it. Just to ensure that I was able to fill my slot.
Okay. So you actually, to prepare for CAT, you took a break, is it?
Not really. It was because I had already 46 months of work experience.
Okay.
So then I thought that it was totally my personal belief, but now that I realize it doesn't really matter. If you have a lot of work ex, also I've seen students get placed in amazing companies.
Okay.
So it was like my intuition to leave work because I did not want it to exceed 5 years or 4 years. So that was like a personal belief. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ayush, can you tell us a little bit about, how to build profile?
I basically took a break to prepare for CAT itself. I have around 13 months of gap. So that also people have a few doubts that people with gap, I have ample amount of batchmates who have a gap of more than 2 years as well. Preparing for some other exams. So that is also definitely possible. And during that period of time, I did internships. I did one in digital marketing. I did another one in an NGO. I worked for an NGO. So it just basically boils down to how you utilize your time and how you can explain that what you did throughout that period of time. Rest all to build profile at this moment of time for an MBA people who are planning for this year, I don't think it will be very relevant. Rather work on your skills and work on your interview preparation.
Okay. Okay, somebody is asking this question about how do you get internships? Well, first you have to get into the B school, then you'll get internships. Okay, or maybe the person is asking about how do you get internships for like how Chittreita did. Yeah, Chittreita, how did you get these internships? The ones that you built your profile with. Chittreita?
So basically, I reached out to people on Unstock. I also reached out to people on LinkedIn. So obviously, you wouldn't be able to convert all of them. But if you send like around 20 to 30 interest forms, you probably might receive one call back.
Okay.
So I would say that do not really overthink it. It's okay if you don't have it as well, because like others have said, that there are ample amount of people having ample amount of gap in their work ex.
Correct.
It's totally okay. It's just about how you're able to justify it in the end to the interviewer.
Okay.
If you had good justification, it's totally fine.
All right. Okay.
Just do not get too paranoid about it. That's all.
Yeah, Gitanshu and Utkarsh, you wanted to add something for the profile building tips?
I mean, no, a lot has been covered. But one thing that I believed in throughout my prep was, as far as profiles are concerned, your grades aren't going to change now. One thing that's in your hand is your CAT percentile work and that. But beyond that stuff, I mean, preparing for an interview is
maybe
something
it gives
that you
you
really
a talking point, maybe more talking
build
points.
Those, building those talking points, creating a purpose, finding a motive, trying to convince people with your motivation. This is why I want to do an interview. This is why it's important to me. Find reasons for that, and anything that surrounds that is valuable. It's a value add for you.
Oh, tell me something. There's a question about how is MDI for finance. So, Apan, when HSBC came to your campus, was it for the what were the functions? What were the roles that they were looking for? That they were hiring for?
Yeah, but 3 different sort of roles which came in. One was for completely retail banking, one was for corporate banking, and one was for trade finance.
Okay.
So yeah, there were these 3 for one particular fact, and apart from that, there were different case study competitions as well, through which different people actually went through HSBC. And yeah, so yeah, some of them went into investment banking specifically. So yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so is there anything you wish you had known before starting your MBA? Yeah, who would like to answer?
So I had actually made a list of things I would want to do before joining an MBA. It was a course on PowerPoint, a course on MS Excel, read 20 of the best MBA books. You eventually end up not doing those. I don't want to.
Wait, did you do any of those at all or no?
I wish I had done that. I would recommend that you guys should, but eventually you end up, you craft your own way.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, do you guys have any photos, or we will just wrap up with just tips from all of you?
Coming into my MBA, again, music was something I thought I'd be leaving behind. However, I have had opportunities where I could perform on campus. This was from 1 month ago.
Nice. Oh, so you guys, okay. So was this a fest where you could perform?
So this was a fest. A band called Chimer Toast was performing. We had the opportunity to open for them. We had the opening act and they had the closing one. So this is my band over here on campus. This is me performing. That's something that I did not expect at MDI, to be able to continue with music, be able to perform.
Very nice. Yeah, okay, that was it. Yeah, Utkarsh, you have anything? Ayush, do you have anything? Yeah, please.
It will be very academically heavy, so I rarely have any photos of academic for sure. This is one dream come true photo of every aspirant of MBA to click a picture in front of the
MDI.
This is one for the Ganesh Chaturthi celebration that we have. These are the multiple speakers that we host. We do have outdoor classes as well to build up the teams. Then the fest, there are a lot of fun activities going all around. This is the Dardia night that we have. Then this was a day when the summer placements had concluded. So one moment of absolute pride that we all experience in our life. Classroom presentations. The fest that Gitanshu showed you a picture of, we had corporate multiple fun activities that keep on happening. So you'll have a repository of photos when you pass out.
Right. Very nice. Yeah. So yeah, one tip each before we wrap up. Okay, Gitanshu, you can talk about one your weak section. How to, if you have a weak section in your CAT, what to do about it? How do you tackle that? Utkarsh, you can answer something about something about VARC. If somebody is struggling with VARC, what do they do? Apan, you can talk about, how exactly one can prepare for the PI, and one tip for that. Ayush, you can probably answer something on what to do on the day and after. I mean, once you know that you have not done very good, you've not taken a very fantastic CAT. So what do you do then, and how do you prepare? How do you mentally keep yourself stable to prepare for the GDPI and apply and everything? Yeah, that. And Chittreita, you can talk about personal interview, PI. One tip. Okay, so Gitanshu, I hope you remember now the question. Yeah, Gitanshu.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, my Achilles heel in CAT was quant.
Okay.
I did really well in verbal. I had a 99.9. I was doing similarly in RDI. However, throughout my preparation, quant was something that I really struggled with.
Okay.
And for me, even though I wasn't able to conquer it to a point where I was actually happy with how I scored, even though it was decent, I had a 96 point something in quants. But for me, again, breaking it down into smaller problems, nitpicking certain things, ye theek karna chahiye, wo theek karna chahiye. And as I said during the mocks analysis, every mock you end up doing a very diverse bunch of questions. Just revising them and doing that over a span of all your mocks, you will have done so many different kinds of questions. So I mean, that is how it would work for me.
Okay. Yeah, Utkarsh?
So for VARC, I personally would recommend to not solve passages as, taking your vocabulary in context, but solve them logically. So I used to, don't just either ghus mat jao passage mein ki what is written there, what the author is trying to say. Just read all your passages ekdam logically, try to eliminate the options and arrive at an answer. And I guess, in the last 2 months, what I did was I started practicing sectionals of each and every section. And I first focus and maintained an Excel. So I first focus on, gaining accuracy in the sections, and then on the number of questions that I'm attempting. So I guess don't focus too much on improving your vocab, reading books like Word Power, and that did not work for me, but just try to solve the passages very logically. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, Apan, PI.
Yeah. So the very foremost rule is basically just keep a smile and just be well prepared with about yourself. And just like mocks, that as Vedanta said, there's a lot of different sort of complex scenarios that come in mocks. There are a lot of different scenarios that come in PIs as well. So the best thing is practice a lot of them. I particularly was in IMS Mumbai for a long time, and I actually gave 20-25 different interviews, not just one person taking my interview, 20-25 different interviews. That is one way. Otherwise, pick a friend, have those interviews at the starting, burn the midnight oil, learn a lot about yourself, and keep on giving interviews. The confidence will increase, and you will learn different type of questions coming up as well, which will make you more prepared.
Yeah, Ayush.
So in my case as well, I did not score that great a score after giving CAT. So when you come back and find out that these are the answer keys start pouring in, everyone has a different opinion, everyone has a different answer.
Yeah.
So my score was not that great. I was expecting somewhere between 92 to 94, 95 percentile, which was not that great for an amazing way score. So first 2-3 days, everyone takes that time. So I'll suggest you also take the time to calm yourself down. There were multiple exams lined up after that. There was SNAP, there was IFT, there was ZAT, which was one of the biggest exams coming up.
Correct.
So I started working. I did not spend a lot of time on SNAP, rather dedicated my time on decision making for ZAT itself. And I scored a decent, better score in ZAT. But messed up my ZAT PI, XLRI PI. So things take its own turn.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Chittreita, if you can give a tip on PI preparation and also, PI preparation.
In our office, they used to call I think Ann covered it pretty well, where he said that, get multiple, like have your interview from multiple sources. So
Okay.
ensure that it's not just one person you're dependent on. Ask your friends also just to take a mock interview. Because as much as people focus on taking the CAT exam, they don't really focus as much on the PI. So that is very important because more or less it holds equal or even more weightage sometimes. And always be confident. They don't expect you to know everything, but they just expect you to handle the situation well. So that's all. That's what works for me in all my interviews. Sorry, and I guess that's what will work for everyone else as well.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's all we have time for. Before we wrap up, I would like to thank all the attendees and I would like to thank all the speakers. Thank you, Gitanshu. Thank you, Utkarsh. Thank you, Apan. Thank you, Ayush. And thank you, Chittreita. Thank you so much for being here today.